Chief of the Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Karamveer Singh, Chief of the Army Staff, General Manoj Naravne, AOC-INC Western Air Command, Air Marshal Chaudhary, senior officers from Ministry of Defence and the three services, defence attaches of friendly foreign countries, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On the 88th anniversary of the Indian Air Force, I extend my best wishes and welcome you all to this event. At the outset, I commend all the Air Warriors on parade for your immaculate turnout and precise drill movements. Your impressive performance is indicative of your discipline, high morale, and pride in the uniform that you don. I congratulate all the award winners also for their exemplary achievements. My compliments to the AOC-INC WAC and AOC Hindon for organizing this parade in spite of the ongoing OP commitments and the severe restrictions because of COVID protocols. Good show and well done. As we enter the 89th year, the IAF is undergoing a transformational change. We are entering an era which will redefine the way we employ aerospace power and conduct integrated multi-domain operations. I feel greatly honored to command this elite force with extremely committed and determined air warriors who continue to strive for excellence in every mission. On behalf of these men and women in blue, I acknowledge with gratitude the invaluable contributions of our esteemed veterans who handed down a legacy built on valor, sacrifice, and pioneering spirit. I also pay homage to our fallen braves who made the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty. Today, we again renew our pledge to preserve the rich legacy and pass it on to the generations ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, this year has indeed been an unprecedented one. As the novel coronavirus spread rapidly across the globe, our nation's response was firm, and IAF on its part instituted various proactive measures to counter the spread and minimize the disruption in our functioning. The tenacity and resolve of our air warriors ensured that the IAF continued to retain its capability and capacity to undertake full-scale operations throughout this period. In fact, we deployed our transport and helicopter aircraft promptly during the lockdown to support COVID-19 tasks, pan-India as well as abroad, wherein we flew almost 750 hours, including many missions to bring back stranded Indians across the globe. The evolving threat matrix in our region is becoming complex, ranging from aspirational adversaries with huge investment in military arsenal to those collusively supported by non-state actors, apart from growing subconventional threats emanating from terrorism and cyberspace. Disruptive technologies and easy access to low-cost options like drones are increasingly demanding greater attention to the subconventional domain. I would like to commend all air warriors for the quick response in the recent standoff on our northern frontiers. When we deployed our combat assets at short notice to handle any eventuality and provided proactive support to all the requirements of deployment and sustenance for the Indian Army. We have clearly demonstrated our resolve, our operational capability, and the will to effectively engage the adversary should the need arise. The emerging security scenario mandates a greater need to have a strong air force to fight across domains across the entire spectrum of the warfare. Our vision for this decade is to continue to comprehensively scale up our combat capability and be a force to reckon with across the entire sphere of influence. Through careful force structuring, modernization, operational training, and acquisition of indigenous equipment to achieve substantial self-reliance. The recent induction of state-of-art Rafale, Chinook, and Apache aircraft have added significantly to our combat capability over our adversaries in the battlefield. Our offensive strike capability has been honed further with upgradations of our aircraft, with weapon systems and sensors, ably supported by a networked decision-making matrix. We have a large strategic airlift capability comprising of IL-76s, C-17s and C-130s, and have also significantly enhanced our heli-lift capabilities with our helicopter inductions. With Atmanirbharta as the backdrop and the bedrock, IF has been rapidly shifting to indigenous equipment. The LCA, ALH, Netra AW&C, Akash surface-to-air missile systems, Astra air-to-air missile, BrahMos, ISCCS networked environment, and a range of indigenous radars are many successes of our home industry which are already operational in the Indian Air Force today. In the next few years, we'll induct 83 LCA Mark 1A, STT-40, medium lift transport aircraft, many indigenous SAMs, radars, and numerous weapon systems. We are fully committed to the development of the 5th generation fighter aircraft on our own, more AEWCs, UCAVs, and a host of ISR options in the future. With the help of private sector, IF has already graduated to an electronic maintenance management system for all our flying platforms and combat assets. This is virtually the world's largest such maintenance monitoring system across various types of platforms and the numbers. And our target now is to achieve enhanced automation and paperless workflow by this year end through projects on nearly all operational, administrative and maintenance aspects of the Indian Air Force with the help of our indigenous industry. For the future, we have initiated processes for developing indigenous combat systems with 6th generation technologies, including directed energy weapons, smart wingman concept, optionally manned combat platforms, swarm drones, hypersonic weapons, to name a few. The space domain is likely to become increasingly important in the future years, and this has been given the required thrust. I want all air warriors to understand the importance of the decade ahead and work proactively towards making Indian Air Force the engine of growth of our indigenous aerospace industry. The creation of CDS and DMA have been a landmark step towards increasing tri-service effectiveness, coordination, and overall combat capabilities of the armed forces. We are working proactively towards setting up of joint command structures. The formation of Air Defense Command is spearheading the envisaged tri-service commands, and it will further optimize all available air defense resources and supported with a robust decision-making structure. And this is at an advanced stage. Despite the COVID constraints, IF carried out enhanced air maintenance efforts for the Army, paramilitary organizations, and civil organizations in challenging conditions. We also responded swiftly and surely to all calls of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief on a number of occasions. Our transport and helicopter assets have flown extensively in providing flood relief during cyclones and for airlifting relief material for our friendly foreign countries. My congratulations to all air warriors for the achievements of Indian Air Force, which would not have been possible without your sincere and dedicated efforts. We must never forget that it is the contribution of every member as part of a cohesive team that ensures victory during war and in every mission during peace. Our culture and ethos is built around teamwork, and this must be firmly ingrained in your mind. It will help you to overcome temptation, if any, to seek personal glory while in service or beyond. I want our capability and culture to reflect in each Air Warrior's action, in your walk, in your talk, and in every mission that you perform. On this solemn occasion, let us all rededicate ourselves to work actively towards transforming Indian Air Force into a force that is lean and formidable, and above all, self-reliant. The Indian Air Force is grateful for the nation's trust, confidence, and support. On behalf of all Air Warriors, I would like to assure the nation that the Indian Air Force will evolve and be ever ready to safeguard our nation's sovereignty and interests in all circumstances. Jai Hind.